Okay, I want to go over a couple of things here, just logistics, so everybody knows what we're doing today. Before I get started, I'm going to say a few words. First thing we're going to do, we've got a few speakers lined up. I'm going to say a few words myself. I've got 2 additional speakers who are going after me. After that, we are going to start our march to City Hall to deliver the petition we signed on March 15th. We have 2,241 signatures from residents of the Cincinnati area. I know we have some people here who don't agree with what we have to say. There are counter-protesters here. I want to make it very clear, okay, that our message is a positive message, okay, and that we want to engage them in discussion and dialogue, okay, but we don't want to try to shout them down or do anything that's going to go on camera and give us a bad name. If you guys have anybody causing trouble, whether it's on our side or on their side, please grab someone in one of the red shirts and let them know, or grab a police officer and let them know what's going on. One other thing, when the march is over, once we get there, we've got someone who's going to be able to play some music for us. We're going to go ahead and sing God Bless America while we're there. And okay, once that's done, we're going to deliver the petition to the Clerk of Council, Melissa Autry. Okay, and at that point, we're finished and everyone is free to go.
Brenda.
So I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with the Tea Parties, why we're here, and what the point of the movement is. Today's event, okay, on Tax Day, is a significant event. Okay, today is the day when America's mind is focused on the level of government spending and what we're sending to Washington. And one of the email blasts that I sent out earlier this week, okay, I listed, it's not about the refund or the check that you write today to send to Washington. It's that number on the tax line, okay, because they take money out of your paychecks on a weekly basis. Okay, it's withholding, so we don't have to think about it. We don't have to think about how much money is really going to Washington. So why are we doing the Tea Party? Okay, I'll be honest, the inspiration of this was a rant by Rick Santelli of CNBC. He was on the floor of the Chicago government chamber, and he wanted to know why those of us who did the right thing and took care of our mortgage and paid the bills are bailing out the irresponsible. And he called for a set of Chicago Tea Parties to happen across America. So by that point, there had been 3 or 4 across the country, some smaller anti-tax, anti-stimulus protests. And I said, there's no reason we can't do it here in Cincinnati too. And so today, here in Cincinnati, we are one of about 600 cities across the country that are hosting Tax Day Tea Parties. One of 26 cities in the state of Ohio that I know of. And our expected attendance is 20,000 across the state and 500,000 across America. So what are we here about? Our values, okay, are free markets, limited government, and fiscal responsibility. Okay, but the proximate cause, the straw that tipped the camel's back, okay, were the TARP bailouts, the stimulus, and the 9,000 earmarks in the federal budget. Now that's a lot of straws. Okay, but why does this stuff happen? Okay, it's government of the government, for the government, by the government. There's an elite class in Washington and New York that has made a career out of running our country. There's a revolving door between big business, federal positions, and lobbyists, and they work together to prevent the people from having a voice. Let me give you an example of how it works. Take former Senate leader Tom Daschle. When he was the Democratic leader of the Senate from 1995 to 2005, his wife was named acting Federal Aviation Administrator by President Clinton. She left this job in 1997 to go back to lobbying for the airline industry. So let's get that straight. Okay, her first job was to be in charge of the airline industry, and then she goes out to lobby on their behalf. She didn't lobby the Senate when she was there because of Senate rules, but she made a great living lobbying the House of Representatives. And keep in mind that all of this, while it was unseemly, was perfectly legal. After he was voted out in 2004, Tom Daschle was able to immediately get a job with a 7-figure salary, working for a Washington lobbying firm, Alston & Bird. I don't know. I don't see too many people out here who probably have seven-figure salaries. This is a guy that hasn't accomplished a whole lot in his career other than working for government, working from the public trough. He was prevented from lobbying the Senate for a year, so he originally worked as a special consultant. His main focus for Alston and Byrd was healthcare issues. And this led to him being Barack Obama's first nominee for Secretary of Health and Human Services, before he withdrew because he didn't pay his taxes on time. Now, I don't know about you. If I didn't pay $140,000 in back taxes, I'm thinking they're coming after me with handcuffs. Okay, not just saying, hey, sorry about your luck, you can pay it.
Take a job.
So, notice that the person who's nominated to regulate the healthcare industry is someone who just spent 4 years lobbying on their behalf. And yet we expect him to be fair, impartial, and on the side of the people? I don't think that makes any sense. And this stuff isn't limited to just the Democrats. One of the most outspoken supporters of Daschle's nomination was a co-worker of his at Alston and Byrd, a guy you might know, former Republican Senate leader Bob Dole. Yeah, he said he didn't think he could think of someone else who was a better candidate for that job. Bob Dole, his wife, also served as a U.S. Senator for 6 years. Another one of those Washington power couples. And prior to this, she was the Secretary of Transportation under Ronald Reagan. And she was instrumental in working with Mothers Against Drunk Driving to pass laws withholding federal highway funds from states that hadn't raised their drinking age to 21. Another example of how the federal government uses the strings and the power of the purse to control the states.